those of you that don't know how to get in yet. So that way you don't have to log in to be able to see it. Frank's got that link. I'm sure he sent it to everybody, and you guys can take a look at that as much as you would like. We will do the same thing with today's webinar. There's a lot of stuff we're going to cover today, and a lot of things that you're going to wake up in a couple weeks and say, oh, I'd really like to do that thing that they talked about on the webinar, but I don't remember how to do it. And we will have this link for you on Monday, and then we can forward that to everybody as well, so you'll be able to see that. And then there'll be some basic marketing pieces and a couple of other small things. We'll send out some training webinar stuff to you towards the end of next week, and you'll be able to learn even more tips and tricks. Okay? We'll always be here to support you with whatever you guys need. All right, so for today, we are going to talk about the agent websites. So again, let me just refresh how to log in. We're going to use Adam's account again. I hope Adam doesn't mind. And we're going to use his account as we go through and kind of move around through the Agent Web Builder. So again, to log in, this is where we go. Let me just get rid of that right there. What we go to is myconnect.abbyhomesearch.com. So again, this is just refresher from last time, myconnect.abbyhomesearch.com. We type in our username, which for everybody is their first name, last name. We've had a few comments over the past couple of days that people can't get in the system, and if your legal name has got like a 2 parts, like we saw one that was Terry Lynn, not just Terry, try that as well, and that might help a little bit as well. So we've got that piece right there. Password is right here. For those of you that have not reset your passwords, please do it. Everyone's passwords default to their first last name, and so make sure you do that, so there's a little bit of security involved. Log into the platform, and then once we get in, it should look like this. So this is what the platform looks like at the start. To get back to this home page, we just click on My Home, or you can click on the logo up here in the upper left-hand corner. Either one of those are fine, and then once you do that, you'll always be here, and this is kind of where we're starting. We're not going to spend much of any time in the system today, just a little bit. What we're really going to spend our time with is the website builder. Everything that we do on your agent website, you can do on the actual front-facing piece of your agent website. It's very, very easy. But you need to know where to go, obviously. So the first thing we want to do is click this button that says My Website. When we click that, another tab up here opens on your browser, and once that opens, your agent website is here, and we'll go through this all in a few seconds here. And the way that you know you're logged into Web Builder is we've added this blue bar at the top. It's got a set of icons and menu items here, and then it's got some menu items here and menu items here, okay? That's the only things you really need to remember. So if you're working through Web Builder and you can't remember what you're doing or where to go or how do I save this page, 99 times out of 100, it's these 3 dots in the upper right-hand side. These menu items here will change as your things that you can do on the page changes. So you see here we have new page, manage your banner photos, or page attributes. Well, this becomes a nice big long list of 6 or 7 things once you go to start a new page. So this is the place to really remember, is this field right here, these little 3 dots. Don't confuse those with the dots in your browser. That's a different thing. These are actually in this blue line right here. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at things. Well, again, a reminder is we will break for questions at the end, and I'll stay on as long as there are questions. And so if you have a question, make sure that you write it down, and then we'll use the chat window at the end of our session today. So if you have just a basic question as we go through things, try and save that until the end if you could, so we don't fill up the chat window with distractions. Okay, so this is the basic agent website, and we'll go through here all sorts of different little pieces, but we've got our header up here, we've got room for all of our menu tabs across here. Now as we scroll down this page a little bit, you'll notice that there's an iStock photo right here. Once we get approval for that photo, this iStock will disappear, and everyone will have a nice preloaded photo here, or potentially a slideshow if we want to put a slideshow. But everyone will have the same set of photos. I'm going to show you how to change out those photos. Okay? All your information is here regarding your contact information, your mobile information. For those of you that have actually got in the system and entered your social IDs, your social networking pieces, those will show up here. So your Facebook, LinkedIn, remember we talked about those in your profile. Those will show up here, which will be really nice. This obviously has the entire home search that the front-facing website does as well. And so, you know, you've got here, sorry, I just got rid of it. So let's just do Houston. And so we've got Houston as a city, North Houston, South Houston. We've got different addresses with Houston in it. So all of these search metrics work great on your agent website as well. I'm going to show you a couple of cool tricks to do on your search to actually have some different saved search areas that you can promote, but we'll do that in a little bit. So we'll show you how to change this banner photo. As we scroll down, you've got the basic information here that's in your contact. If any things here are missing or don't look complete or whatever, we're tweaking a couple of things, right? So this address we still have to fix. Again, if you weren't on the last webinar, we are wrapping up all the pieces of your system, so we're should have everything up and rolling and ready to go next week, but we're getting you in early so you can do some really cool things and set some stuff up. So your social icons will also show up down here in the Follow Me section. Here is your description about me. This is from the profile. Okay, so remember that we talked about your profile 2 days ago in the agent profile section, and we actually did this one for Adam. I showed you how it showed up on Adam's page on the roster, right, the company roster, but this is the front face of his website. Same thing shows up here. And then we're pulling from the MLS Adam's featured listings. So those are his listings commingled with a bunch of his office listings as well. I'll show you how to manage these today. And then, of course, his sold properties. And if we're missing some of the sold properties because maybe they're in the MLS incorrectly, or it was a sold property that he wasn't the primary, maybe he was part of a team under someone else's sold ID, I will show you how to add sold properties to here as well. Okay? So that's kind of the gist of the front page of the AZIC website. I'm going to show you how to add as many pages as you want and some of the things you can do with those specific pages as well. Okay, so as we scroll up here, let's go back to the top. We're going to work our way from left to right on the menu, and I'm just going to show you where certain things are. So on the upper left is a settings menu, okay? The first thing I want to show you is the third icon, which says Website Settings and Layout. So if I click that, I get this overlay box that says Website Settings and Layout. A couple things I can do here. The first is if you are tracking your website or want to track with Google Analytics, you certainly can. For those of you that don't know what Google Analytics is, it is an analytics program that actually shows how many people were on your website, what pages they went to, what part of the city or the country did they search from, how long did they stay, what were the most pages that they were active with, all that kind of good stuff. So if you're going to do any marketing for your agent website, you should definitely have Google Analytics. This code, once you receive it from Google, will look something like this. It's a very simple code. It always starts with UA. It's got a bunch of numbers, and then it says -1. All right? Once you get that code, you just drop it in here, and then the next day you'll start to see tracking information. Analytics are always 24 hours behind, and so it'll show you the tracking stuff for the last week or the last month or whatever. For those of you that are running Facebook ads, we do allow you to put your Facebook pixel ID in here. So again, if you're not running Facebook ads, you won't have any idea what that is, but it's basically a tracking system that allows you within your Facebook account to be able to see activity of people that came to your website from your Facebook advertising. So if you're running Facebook ads, somewhere in your account you'll see set up my Facebook pixel ID, and you'll have no idea what that is. Now you know what it is. And again, it's just a small little code. You'll type it in here, copy and paste it in here, and then you'll be able to track activity coming from your Facebook ads. All right? Once those two pieces are in, you never have to touch them again. Again, I'll get rid of this one. What I really want everyone to see is this button down here at the bottom left that says Change Layout. So if I click that, we've got a couple of different layouts for you to choose from. Okay, so right now there's 2 templates in the system, but again, you're going to be able to adjust pretty much everything on this template. And so, you know, when you're thinking about the picture or those kind of things, the big difference between these 2 templates is this one here has the agent photo up in the header. So if you're on other pages, your agent photo will actually show up on the header of every single page. And it's got a little bigger description spot down here. Okay, so that's template number 2. See here, layout 2. Everyone is defaulted to layout number 1, which is this one right here. And that's the one we're going to use today as layout number 1. So if you want to swap over to layout number 2, You go like, you take a look at it like here. You can preview or you can select it. I'm just going to click on preview. And when I do that, it actually shows me what this template will look like. Okay, so a couple little pieces that we're still going to work on with some spacing up here, which is fine. You've got some email contact information. You've got your nice header photo up here. You see how all the layout here above the photo changed. Okay, and you've got your menu now kind of in these sections. So otherwise than that, it goes right to your sample description, your bio, and then down to your featured and your sold listings. So you can swap between those. I just said, hey, show me a preview of this, opened up a new tab. I'm going to close that tab. I'm right back to where I was, and I'm not going to select a new layout. Once you click select, it converts instantly, and it's automatically a new layout. Okay, so that's how you swap between template 1 and template 2, which changes the top header structure and changes all the stuff on the photo. But the photo still stays the same, nice and big. I'll show you in a few minutes how to adjust this photo and make it more personalized to something you want to do. Okay, let's talk about your featured and sold listings. Okay, so featured and sold listings, if your MLS ID has been input properly in the system, okay, then and you have actual listings in HAR, then it should be picking up your featured listings. All right, so those should be there automatically. It's very possible that it's showing some office listings as well as your listings. Let me show you how to adjust that. So again, in the upper left-hand corner, we're going to click on Hi and then your name, and we're going to go to Manage My Featured Listings. So once we do that, the system shows us what featured listings we're currently pulling within the platform. Okay, so here we're showing all of the office listings as well as Adam's internal listings. So it's about 80 properties. It's quite a few in this tray. But it's possible in here that Adam wants to sort them differently. So over here, do you see this little drop down right here? It says sort by my listings first, or newest listings first, or price high to low. So right now I've got it defaulted for sorting Adam's listings first. So he will always see his listings first. If you just wanted to take all of your listings plus the office listings and sort them high to low, you could just click that and it would resort the page. And now I've got office listings high to low plus Adam's listings, right? So 3.8, 2.3, 1.2, 975, 900, 899. Okay? If I want to say newest on the market first, then I just click new listings first. Now it will sort featured listings by the newest on the market. So that gives us this little one for 179, then this 289, then this 550. Okay, and so those are the newest properties on the market. So you can choose. Most everybody is probably going to want my listings first to showcase your own listings. So again, you click that and it reshuffles, and now this is one of Adam's listings, this is Adam's listing, this is Adam's listing. As we just go through, these are all his listings first, and then we get down to a point where it starts to show the office listings. Okay, so that's how that functions, and that gives you the opportunity to do whatever. So now let's take a look at this, and we look at this third listing, and let's say that this land lease listing right here, Adam does not want to show on his website. Well, that's totally fine. You see this little red X right here? If I were to click that, this featured property would never show again in his featured gallery. So that's important to know for those of you that maybe take a little land listing that's a friend or something like that, and it's not indicative of what you sell on a regular basis, and you really don't want to show it in your promo. Go ahead and just click on the red X, and that will just take that out of your featured gallery, and it will never show up again unless it comes back in the system with a different MLS ID. Make sense? If you would like to add some custom featured listings, right? I mean, let's say that you do condos in the Woodlands. That's your primary area of business, but you don't have any current listings. Your office doesn't have a lot of condos. What you can do is you can just enter the MLS ID here, and once you do that, one of the condos will show up. Okay, whatever this MLS ID is, the condo will show up here. It'll have a green check mark, and you click it, and that will be added to your featured gallery. So that's how that works. So you can do custom featured listings. You can do my listings first. You can do several different things, newest listings, all sorts of stuff. But most all of you, I think, will want my listings first. So once you do that, it's done. You don't have to do anything else. Now all we're going to do is jump back to the home page. So to get out of this little web builder section here, we just click on the logo in the upper left, and we're right back on the home page. If we scroll down, you see that it shifted to show Adam's listings first. All right, so that's how we deal with the featured properties. Let's deal with sold properties. So if we scroll down here to the bottom, again, we've got a bunch of sold properties or sold leases or whatever from that Adam's got in the system. So as we scroll back up, we go back to our menu, and right underneath my featured listings is manage my sold properties. So if I click that, there's not quite as many options within the sold properties, okay? And he has quite a bit, and so this takes a few seconds to load, 281. And so you've got a couple of sort abilities. So recently sold first, my solds first, or priced high to low. All right, so you can kind of gang up exactly how you want to do that. So my solds first, what would that be? Well, it'd be your solds if you add some other sold properties that we don't have you as a selling agent. Recently sold properties is probably what most everybody wants to do, but if you do a lot of high-end properties and you want to show your highest end first, then go ahead and click price high to low. That's going to take your entire gallery of sold listings and start, even if it was one from 2 years ago that was 2 million and that's the highest one you've done, that would be the first one to show. Now, let's say that you're a member of a team, or maybe you used to be a member of a team and everything was listed under the other team member's MLS ID. So you are responsible for helping sell, 15 homes, but it's not coming into the platform because your MLS ID is not what HAR recognizes as the person who sold that property. So here we allow you to drop in an MLS anytime in the last 3 years. So you can drop in a number that's a sold property anytime in the last 3 years and add it to your sold gallery. So if I were to drop in a number here, it would show that property here. There'd be a green checkbox. I could click it, and then that would then be part of my sold gallery. Right, so obviously there's some trust involved. We are trusting that you're not going to add a whole bunch of properties you have nothing to do with in the sale, but obviously if you need to add some that we don't have in our records, as you being the seller, we trust that you're going to put those proper MLS IDs in there, and that's a reputable thing to do. Okay, so that's how we manage our sold gallery, and that's how we manage our featured gallery. Again, to get back to the home page, we're going to click on the Abbey Realty logo, and we're back to here. So if we scroll down the page, we dealt with, oh, it's still loading. We dealt with the featured and we dealt with the solds. There we go, okay? And you can see these are just galleries that just scroll right across and they just continue to scroll. Again, they're not meant for everybody to go in and just look at everyone individually. No one's going to do that. They want to get a gist of the fact that, you've been doing business for a while and these are the kind of places that you take care of. Okay, so again, a reminder on the the agent bio. This is from your agent profile. So if I go back to the CINC My Connect system, so I'm back here on the home page. Up here in the right-hand corner is your picture, and then it says profile. Again, that is where you change things like your address, your phone number, and it certainly is where you update that bio. It says agent bio, and there's a section in there. You can drop in all sorts of formatting if you want to. You can make it look as complicated or as simple as nice as you'd like to. And it would be behoove you to get at least something in there for sure. Okay, so we've gone through changing templates. All right, we've gone through managing your solds and managing your featured listings. So those are a lot of the things that you can do on the home page. All right, so let me show you how to manage this banner photo. Okay, so this is what we call our banner photo right here in the middle. And let's say I want to add a photo to here and get rid of this stock photo that everybody else has on the website. First place I go to, again, are those little three buttons in the upper right-hand corner. Upper right-hand corner says Manage My Banner Photos. It's the second piece. So I click it, and it says Banner Photos or Videos. Okay. So here you can see that there's currently no custom pictures in my banner gallery. And again, here's how this thing works, just so everybody understands. If you add a custom photo, we are going to turn off this Woodlands picture back here. And so we assume that you don't want this and you want to do something custom. We're not going to add to this as a slideshow. We're actually just going to turn it off and then add whatever new photo. So let me show you how to add a new photo. And then what we need to also do is understand that a couple things that we can do with those different photos. So I'm going to click on New to add a new banner image. So now the system says, what's the title of that? And this isn't really necessary, but you know, sometimes people always like to name things, so I'll just leave it blank for now. You can upload an image or a video. Okay, I will say there's just not a lot of video that you could put on here that you would do with your iPhone or your Android phone that's probably going to look, you know, really, really great on the front face of a website. Video is tough to get right on a website. So if you go to iStockPhoto.com and want to buy a video and drop it on, you certainly can. But the video needs to be in a couple of different formats and the size is appropriate. So again, I would experiment with this, which is fine, but just be aware that bad video looks like bad video on a website. It doesn't make it look any better. So I would stick with images if you can, and you can do a slideshow, multiple images. I'll show you how. So the first thing it says, I click on image, and it asks me to browse on my computer for the specific image. Now, I give you suggestions right here of what size the image should be. So roughly 1600 by 800 is a good range. I like mine a little bit more like 1600 by 600, so a little bit longer, and so it pulls up from the bottom a little bit, and I'll show you why in a second. But that's a really good target to shoot for, is a 2 to 1 ratio, 1600 by 800. So what I do is I click on Browse Image. On my computer, I've got a bunch of predefined images. I grab the one that I like. I click Open. Wait for it to load. Okay, so you can see there, you probably couldn't see it through the webinar, but there was a little loading bar that went through. So I wait for it to load, and then you can see Exterior Lifestyles, that's the one. Okay, and so if I click on Save, I'll come back to Listing ID and Order in a second. If I click on Save, it says Modifications Complete. Now we've got a brand new banner photo. Okay. Now, the banner photo thing pops up again in case you wanted to add another one. So I could add up to 10 photos, and it would just be a nice little slideshow. It would rotate about every 6 or 7 seconds, and it would just start on the first one that I loaded, and then it would go to the second, then it would go to the third, and whatever. For now, I'm just going to say, let's exit out of this. And I'm good with this photo. It's great, compared to the lifestyle living type stuff that I sell. It's the look that I want, and I am good to go. So for a lot of you, just uploading a single photo here is going to be perfect. That's all you need to do, and you're good to go. Let me show you a couple of cool things that you can do with this photo. All right. So first is we're going to go back to Manage the Banner Photos. So I'm going to click on this, Manage Banner Photo. First of all, let's say you uploaded a photo and it looks terrible, all right? So it looks terrible, you want to get it off your site as quickly as possible. You just come right back here, right where I was. I was on Manage Banner Photos in the little settings, and I click on this button that says Remove. It says, are you sure you want to remove it? I click on Remove. Once I do that, look, I don't leave you with a blank screen. I actually reload the default photo for you. And so now you're right back to the beginning, no harm, no foul, right? So that's perfect. So let's say that I've got a really nice listing and I want to promote that listing on the front page of my website, okay? The images we get from the MLS are not high enough resolution to drop in here and make them look good, obviously, okay? So let's say I have a nice piece of photography on a multi-million-dollar house that I really want to promote. Well, what you can do is you can load a specific photo in here. Let's say you get some high-res photos done, and then you can have this photo actually linked to the listing detail page on your website of that listing. Let me show you how to do that. So I go here, I go to Manage Banner Photos, I click on New, I'm going to upload a new banner photo. I go down here to Browse Image, I pick the image that I want. Which one should I pick? We'll pick this guy here. So I pick the image that I want. I click Open. Okay. Now take a look at this right here, it says listing ID, okay? So I'm going to type in the MLS number, okay? And you see this drop down here? You need to click on that drop down. So that's saying that, hey, we found your listing ID in the platform. You need to click on that, and that locks it to that specific listing. So I've uploaded my own photo. I've said I want this photo to be linked to this currently active property, and it needs to be an active property. It can't be a sold property. I click on Save. It modifies, and now look. We'll wait for this banner photo to come back up. I'll get rid of that. Now take a look in the bottom left. I've pulled the address and the beds and baths and basic square footage, so I've pulled some general information about this photo. This will update now, and it's clickable. So now if I click it, I go to that specific listing on the website. So what I've done is I've created this nice photo that links to one of my featured listings, and you can do this with as many listings as you want. So if I want to add another one, I click here, click Manage Banner Photos, I click Add a New One, I go to Browse Images, and I say, let's use this nice tree picture here. I click Open, and I'm going to just use the same MLS number because that's the only one that I have, but you would put in a different MLS number. You would click OK, and now you click on Save. Modifications complete. And now keep an eye on this picture in the background. You see that? It changed to the other picture, and there's the text. The picture's a little bit taller, and so I had to scroll down. So that's why I kind of like these thinner pictures, because they show up on widescreen monitors like what I'm using right now. But now you've got an automatic slideshow, and you're featuring 2 of your properties, and it looks great. So you can do that with as many properties as you want. Now, let's say you want to get rid of one. You go to Manage Banner Photos. We click on Remove. Yes, I want to remove. Modifications complete. So now we just took the slideshow and got rid of one of the images, and now we're just back to a standard banner photo. So hopefully that makes sense of what you can do. Basically, you can just change the banner photo to whatever you want. You can create multiple slideshows, right? You can create one slideshow with multiple photos by just uploading more, and you can link these to a specific property. Now, what happens when this property goes pending or goes sold? So if this is no longer an active property, the picture is still nice, and it's still a great promotion for you, and so we leave the picture here. But we get rid of this text down here. And so you don't have to worry that the picture is going to link to a bad page. You don't have to worry that it's going to promote something that's no longer on the market. We take care of removing that for you. The system does. And then whenever you come back in, you can replace the photo, or maybe you want to leave it. So agents use this a lot, and a lot of them will upload their nicest listings, and then when they go pending or sold, they'll leave them on there, and maybe they'll add more, and maybe they can change the order. You saw the little button that said order. You can actually say, I want this to be order number 1, number 2, number 3, whatever. So we give you a lot of options of what you can do with this whole banner section right here. Okay, so that is the front face of the agent website. So again, you've got your contact information, you've got all your bio stuff here, you've got all your featured listings and your solds. For the vast majority of you, these will just be good to go as they are, but you can modify them as necessary. And you've got this nice banner section where you can do some really cool stuff. So that's just the home page. So from here, if we want to, we can actually create pages and create menu items. So before we go create a page, let me show you how we can create a link up here on the menu item that goes to someplace interesting. So let's say I did a lot of business in, I don't know, the Woodlands area, just in kind of a specific section. Let's say I go to the property search. So I'm just going to click on search. So I'm in the property search for your entire area. I'm scrolling down to section for the Woodlands. Okay. So I get to this section right here, and let's say that there's an area that I market a lot, and that area is kind of maybe this square right here. You see this kind of area? And so I can take a polygon, and I can draw that polygon and define that as a specific search page. Let me show you how to do that. So on the left-hand side, I've got my little icon buttons here. I can zoom in, zoom out. I can actually draw a search. I can expand the map to the entire screen, which is kind of fun, or I can change to the satellite view. So for me, I just want to take this and draw the search. So I click it, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw this search that goes between these roads, and let's say that's a specific neighborhood that I have defined that I do a lot, right? And so I'm just drawing this search there, and now I've got my little polygon, and my polygon will update, and it gives me just this section right here, okay? So now, this is kind of cool. If I wanted to, now I could take this little polygon section and kind of define that as my own little saved search. Because if I take this link, all the polygon descriptions in there are saved in this link. So what can I do with this link? Well, I can actually just take this link and email it to a client. I can right-click and copy it. And again, I'm right at the top in the URL. You can see here the URL got really long because it's got those geocodes in it. I can take this and I can copy it, and I can actually send this little saved search to a client. If the client clicks it, this is what's going to happen. It's going to come up on their page. Oop, that's not exactly what's supposed to happen. That's probably because we're not live yet with these. But what will happen is it will actually redraw this on their screen just like this. Oh yeah, it's because it's, sorry, that will work next week. But right now we haven't set up those final subdomains for the agent sites yet. So it will actually redraw this on the screen for them and show them this exact search. So it's a nice way to do kind of a quick and dirty, hey, here's the stuff for sale right now in this specific area without having to set up a home search or a listing alert. We talked 2 days ago about how to set up listing alerts, and that's great for people that want to get constant results. This is great for people that just want to see what's for sale in a specific area. You just draw it, copy the link, and send it. Okay? All right, so that's one of the things that you can do with the search that's kind of interesting. If you want to get rid of that polygon area, you just click on the X. It disappears, and now we've got everything. And so everything that you would want to do in that search is there. If you want to segment it, you just start to type up here, and the drop-down comes down, the Woodlands, then you click it, and then it just refreshes and gives you just the Woodlands area. So there, as much as you want to move things around, you can, but it's going to be just the Woodlands. If you want to get rid of this Woodlands, you just click on this little X up here. The little 1 right up here shows you that you actually have a search. So again, people can do this on your website, but you can also do it on your website and then send this link out to people that might want to get into the specific weeds this way, and it always sends people back to your agent website, which is nice. All right. I'm going to go back to the home page. I go back to the home page here, and I want to show you guys now how to build a new page. So if we want to build a page and add to our menu here, you can add community pages, you can add pages about what a great buyer or seller you are, those kind of things. One thing that we will already have on here for everybody is all the neighborhood areas. So we have several different neighborhood areas, and we have market reports linked to those neighborhood areas. And that will be on here at the end of next week once we're finished setting everything up. So getting those neighborhood areas, everyone will already have those in the system. But if I wanted to add something specific, I would go to these little icons, and I'd click this first one that says a new page. I click that, and my page builder pops up. So here in my page builder, I've got, and again, for the 2 or 3 of you that do search engine optimization who know how to get things to rank on Google, we give you the opportunity here to define your page name, header, title, and description. This is all the metadata that's attached to your page. For most of you, you won't know what that is, and that's okay. But for those 2 or 3 that do want to control all of that and do some good SEO, we will go. You can fill those pieces in right here. You can also modify them after you create the page. So let's call this Woodlands Homes. Now, read this little red thing here. The page name should not contain any special characters except for a hyphen. Okay, that's really key because this is going to be the name of the page up here in your URL string. So this will create what's called a friendly URL, and that just means it'll be adamolson.abbyhomesearch.com/woodlands-homes. right? So it's going to be exactly what it is. Page heading, that's the actual heading on your page. The title at the top. So sorry, I'll type here in a second. Woodlands homes for sale. The page title is going to be this little piece right up here. That's that is your on the tab of your browser. That's the page title. It's also the most important piece of search engine optimization. That tells Google this is what this page is about. So I would say something like the Woodlands, Texas homes for sale. And you could put something like, you know, and real estate info, although that's getting a little bit long. Page description, that's the actual description that you see if someone finds your page on a Google search results. That'll describe what's on here. Think of this as the billboard. If you end up on a Google search results page, you're now in competition with the 10 people on that page for someone to click you. This is the area where you just put a couple sentences in that says something like, you know, I've been living in the Woodlands for most of my life. I've been selling real estate here for 20 years, and I really get this market. I would love to help you with buying or selling. You're right? It's that little pitch that you're going to give. I'll leave it blank for now, but you get the idea. If you leave these blank, that's fine. We'll put default stuff in there. The only one I do need from you is the page name. The rest I can put in there if this section intimidates you. So all we did was go to new page, and then you just got to set up the new page. We've got some nice formats down here. For any of you that do landing pages for any kind of online lead generation, this last template right here is an actual built-in form. That's a really nice one too. So you can add video and do all sorts of stuff at the top. It just kind of pushes down, and then there's a form there. So if some of you are doing you know, Facebook signups or any kind of online lead generation, and you have a system that develops landing pages for you, this template right here, you can do your own landing page within here, and you don't have to pay those extra costs. So right now we're just going to do this open format right here. I'm going to click Create Page. When I do that, the page pops up, okay? And it's not in a different language. I've just inserted a whole bunch of Latin text here. And so this Latin text kind of shows you where the text is. All right, so this is kind of what we've got. I've given you a framework of, I've got your header here. You see up here the Woodlands, Texas homes for sale and real estate info. There's your page title. We've got right here Woodlands homes, right? And we're in edit mode, and it's just a preview. Now you can come back and you can play with this page as much as you want. I'll let you save it as a draft. You don't have to make it live right away. A lot of people will come in, they'll start to create a series of pages, maybe community pages or different kind of marketing pages or whatever. And you don't get them all perfect to where you want them the first time, and so you just save them and they become drafts. And I'll show you how to find those in a second. If you put your cursor anywhere in this text, this little editor pops up, and it's just like working in a Word document. For those of you that were on Wednesday's call, this is just like the editor that we saw for your profile, right? So if I want to get rid of the Latin text and do my own, I just select it, I hit delete. Now I can, oops, can type right on this page and do whatever I want. So here you can do your styling, you know, you can do bullet points, you can do numbering, you can do indexing, you can do whatever you want. Here's all your justifications for center or whatever. You can insert a photo. This is that little thing that says image right there. You can insert a photo. You can actually insert some buttons. So again, if you're intimidated by some of this stuff, don't be. It's just like working in a Word doc. If I wanted to take this and actually wanted to make it larger, I could do that here. Or I could change it to, you know, the heading on the page, which makes it larger. I can center it. You know, these are all very simple things to do. So we'll leave it centered for a second. So not complicated. And again, it's not going to be live when you build it the first time unless you publish it. And so feel free to get in here and just play around. No one's going to see the page. So get in here, play around, have a plan of what you want to do, but then you can go from there. So there's a couple of widgets here that I want to show you. The first widget is YouTube. And so if you have YouTube or Vimeo video that you want to embed on a page, we make it super simple. So let's go to YouTube real quick. And let's say we found a video on YouTube that we wanted to put on a specific page, okay? And well, I've got some great stuff on my YouTube channel, right? So what we'll do is we can go in here and we can go search for the Woodlands, you know, and we've got a bunch of different videos. Let's say there was that looks like a great one. Let's say that there was a video you wanted to put in here. You can share that video and drop it in. Now, here's what I will tell you. I can't tell you how many times I've had agents put in a really cool neighborhood video, and they watch the first minute of the video and they don't realize that that video was made by another competing real estate agent with another company. It gets to the end of the video and, you know, a nice Coldwell Banker sign pops up or something like that. Make sure that whatever video you're going to put, it actually, you know, make sure that it's not made by a competing company or something like that. So if it's on YouTube and it has a share link, you have the legal right to embed that somewhere. So, you know, you can feel free to use whatever you feel. And on Vimeo is the same thing. If you have some cool neighborhood videos that maybe neighborhood associations have done or whatever, you can certainly put those on too. So if I click one of these videos,
politics I want to talk about.
that appears to be a political video. We'll just use it for giggles. So if this is the video that I wanted to put on to my web page, you see this button right down here that says share. If I click that, I get this YouTube short link. Okay, so again, where was that? Right down here, there's a button that says share. This pops up, and I get this short link. I click on copy, and then I go back to my page, put my cursor where I want it to be. I click this YouTube, right? It says embed the YouTube video. I click it, and it says paste your YouTube video URL. I put my cursor in there, I right-click, I hit paste, and I click OK, and there it is. So now I've got a video that's actually going to play right on my page, and all I did was click there, select that, go back here, click, boom, it's done. So for those of you that are doing video, and hopefully that's a lot of you, testimonial videos, bio videos about yourself, really specific cool property videos about specific high-end homes. I noticed that there's some really great listings that some of you have, and I'm hoping you're doing some really great video about there. They're probably on, Vimeo and YouTube is where your virtual tour video companies have put those. You can grab those links and drop them in right here, and it will embed and play right here on your page. So the biggest thing with these pages is not to jump in here and just set up a bunch of pages. The biggest thing is to plan, right? If you've got 3 or 4 neighborhoods that you farm on a regular basis and you want to put some nice landing pages about those, go out and shoot some video, load it to YouTube, put it on your YouTube channel. If you've also got some virtual tours, if you've got some great photos and some photo galleries, people want to see you have expertise in certain areas. This is the place where you can do that kind of stuff. All right? Once you get either to the place where you can't build anything more on the page or get to the place where the page is ready to go, all you need to do in this upper right-hand corner, and you see how these menu items have changed? They've changed based on what I'm doing on this page. So now it's given me, I can take a look at my page attributes, I can overhaul my metadata for you SEO geeks, which is perfect. I can also drop in a banner photo at the top of this page. I click on Manage Banner Photo, and I can browse images. I need something long and skinny, so I have one of those exterior lifestyles that's long and skinny. I click Open. I wait for it to load. I click Save. And now the Woodlands Homes for Sale has got this nice banner image behind it, okay? And so here you see that this turned into an iframe because we still haven't saved the page. So I'll just go back up here and I'll click Save. When I do this, great. Now I can type right on top of this page. That's the text I put. You can put paragraphs, bullet points. Here I dropped in a video. Here I dropped in a nice header. And I've got a pretty decent looking page going. Okay, so a really cool looking page going, and again, this, if I wouldn't be talking so much, this would have taken you 1 or 2, maybe 3 minutes to do. So all sorts of really cool things that you can do on these pages banner video, banner images, drop in easy video. You can edit and do things just like you're doing on a Word doc. All that's really simple. Let me show you one more thing. It's not quite ready yet, but I want to show you how to do it. You'll need to come back to this video and watch, but it's one of the cooler pieces that we have. So let's go back to edit. So right now, if I put my cursor here, nothing happens, right? My editor doesn't come up. Some of you will see that, you'll get frustrated. You'll be like, hey, the system's broken. It's not broken. You just need to go back up here and say, I want to edit this page. Because remember, we saved it. And so at that point, we can publish it, but I need to go back and edit it. So I click Edit. See, now my cursor, everything pops back up. Okay, so don't be frustrated. And again, this you can't change here on the page. This here you have to change in the page attributes, right? Here, page attributes, okay? So I'm editing this page. Let me put my cursor down here towards the bottom. Now, I've got this. I'm going to center it. We've got this little button here that says Import a Saved Search. Okay, so import a saved search. Follow me on this, and let me show you what this does. Let's say you want to take people, maybe on a Facebook share. You want to take people back to a page that you've created about the Woodlands. So let's say maybe you created a page about the Woodlands, just condos for sale in the Woodlands, you know, under $600,000, and you talk about those condos and the great deals that are out here. Well, it would be great to show every time someone hits this page the newest condos for sale in the Woodlands. So how do we get a saved search to appear on this page and be fresh and load every single time? Well, I will show you. I'm going to jump back into the CINC Connect system. In here, I need to save a search. Once I save a search, it will then be available for me to drop it on this page with that little widget. Super, super simple. In order to save a search, and again, remember that you can do this. You'll need to come back and watch the video. You go to Listings, and you go to My Saved Searches. Okay, not complicated. I already put one together for Adam, but we'll do a new one here. So we've got, let's go ahead and click on our New button because we want to generate a new saved search. We click New, and again, this is a saved search for just you and the platform. If you want to save a search parameter, this isn't one where you would send out to your clients. That is the listing alerts, and we did that on Wednesday. This is a saved search that you would want to display somewhere on your website. So I click here, Woodlands condos under 600K. Now remember this box from Wednesday? Anywhere we click in the box or the edit button, it pulls up our criteria. So here's all the criteria. You recognize the search, okay? So we can select from all these different things to generate the saved search. So I want active, and I scroll down here, list price, I'm going to say up to 600,000. Property type, I'm going to click it, and I'm going to say condos and townhomes. And then down here in city, I'm just going to start typing in the Woodlands, and it says the Woodlands. Again, you'll have to search for those the first couple times you do this, but you can see once you use this a few times how easy it is to go in and define your parameters. So I've got list price up to 600. I've got property type, townhomes and condos, and then I've got in the Woodlands. Up here, to make sure I did my search correctly, I click this button that says count, and it says there's 44. And to me, that sounds right? 44 active properties that are condos in the Woodlands up to $600,000. So now I click OK. The save search is done. I click Save and Close. Now I've got two saved searches in here. Let me go back to the page. So I just went to another tab. I went back to the page that we built. Okay. Now I've got my cursor where I want it. I click on this button that says Import Saved Search. Take a look at this. The Woodlands condos under 600K or Woodland condos. Those are the two that I built, and I'm going to click on Woodland condos under 600K. I click it, and it builds out this really nice gallery results right on the page. So now the page is going to have this nice banner. It's going to have my text. It's going to have a video, and then it's going to show the actual saved search results right on the page for Woodland condos under $600,000. People will have a button here to save search. They'll be able to sort it high to low and everything else. This right here will go live as soon as we hit save. However, I don't think it's working yet. I think it will start working on Monday. So here I'm going to click on this. I'm going to click on save. Now we've got Woodlands homes for sale. I can type on the page Woodlands right here. So now it says there's no matches there, that will be good and ready to launch the first part of next week. So after that's done, all of these condos will show up. It'll be very, very cool. And so you can build out a really nice page where you can do some video, you can actually see saved search results, you can generate leads from that saved search. So you can do a lot of things. Okay, let's say that this page is ready to go. So upper right-hand corner, I click Save. I already did that, okay? Now, where do I go back? Let's just go back to my home page. So let's say I'm Adam. It's been a week. I log in, and I want to modify that page, right? I've been building that page. I want to play with it. Well, that's the only icon I have not shown you. That's this little bell, which is website notifications. So if I click on the bell, you see I have no published pages, and I have 2 pages in my drafts. I click that. And look, Woodlands Homes, that's the one that I just created, okay? This test page was one I did earlier. So I can delete the page here, or I can open the page. I click it, it opens, I can go back into edit mode, I can play around with whatever I want, I can make changes, do whatever I need to do. I'll go up here, let's say this page is ready to go, I want to make this page live on my website. Okay, then you go up to the little menu, again, the same menu every time, and you click on this button that says Publish. Right, so look what happened when I clicked on Publish. Now that little link, right, that was right before Woodlands Home that says Preview has gone away. So now I actually have a live URL. So I've got adamolson.abbeyhomesearch.com/woodlandhomes. Perfect. It's what's called a friendly URL. It looks really good. I could share that on social media. I could do all sorts of stuff with that. It's not on my website yet. I have to put it in my menu, but the link is live. So for those of you that want to do landing pages with forms but don't want them to show up on your website, this is exactly what we just did. You would just take this link. Now, if I sent someone to this link, even though it's not on my menu, they can get here and it's a live page. But it's kind of hidden because, again, no one can find it unless I send them the link. But let's say we want to add it to our link structure. Okay, see this little plus sign right here? You probably already figured this out. So that little plus sign adds main menu tabs, and then if I want to put this a page nested underneath one, I would just click on the plus sign underneath. But I want to put a main menu tab there that says Woodland Condos or Woodlands Homes. So I click on the plus sign. It says, what do we want the label to be? That really doesn't make sense, but you get the idea. I keep struggling with the in front of Woodlands. I apologize. So right here, you can make it a link if you want to link to anywhere. You could have a link that says, find me on Facebook, and link to your Facebook page if you wanted to. But in this case, we wanted to build it on one of your pages, and so we click on the page, and right here is a drop-down that says Pages. Look, it's the only one because it's the only published page. There was 2 pages in our drafts, but this is the only one here because it's the published one, right? Where do I want to put it in the menu structure, first or second? I can do it there. And do I want to open it up actually on your website or open it up in a new tab? Well, obviously we want to open it up in the website. So we click on Add, and there it is. So now if I go back to the home page, I've got my nice photo, I've got down here some MLS stuff that goes right to this photo, and I've got a really cool Woodlands Homes. Right? It goes right to that page. Let's say I misspelled it, or I want to change the title, or just get rid of it. I either click on the edit pencil, or I click on delete. So I click on delete. It says, do you really want to delete the Woodlands Homes? I click delete. Now the link disappears, but the page is still there. Again, the page is still in my published pages. That has gone to 1. Drafts has gone down to 1. But that's how I add the link. If I want to do it underneath property search, I just click here. I do all the same stuff. I click Add, and it becomes a nested menu item right underneath property search. Okay, so again, let's review the stuff that we took a look at. We talked about how to manage this photo here, how to link it to MLS IDs, how to do your search, and some cool things with being able to save the URL for your search. Talked about how to do your menu icons, how to build pages, okay, and then down here, how to deal with your bio, and then your featured listings and your sold listings as well. So again, this is just scratching the surface, but you can do some pretty neat stuff with this with your agent website here. For those of you that have your own domain name, feel free to forward it. You just forward it to this right here, and then your domain name can come and go right to there if you want it to. The other thing too is, once I train your admin users, like Frank and David, once I train them, if you would like that up there to say something like this, to be what we call a vanity URL, but that is possible. The admin has to do it on your end, and there are some DNS settings, so you'll need to get into your GoDaddy account and make some changes. I would say it's a medium level on complexity scale. But it is possible that you can do that, and then we can make it look like, you know, for me it would be kenelmer.com/woodlandhomes, kenelmer.com/home search or whatever. So you can absolutely do that. Okay? All right. That is enough for this session. I filled your brains, hopefully, with a whole bunch of good stuff. Again, this will all be good to go and ready for you to take a look at. I think I'll probably record things going a little bit faster and using a little bit better demo when they're ready to go. But yeah, if you guys have questions or anything, let me know. So you can go ahead and use the chat window, and we'll go from there. So Mike asks, what is the optimum banner width on pixels for the website and the homepage photo size? Okay, so good question, Mike. So here, when I go to Manage Banner Photos and I click on New, right here I show you that it should be 1600 by 800. Okay, that's fine. I like it a little bit higher right here. So this one I just loaded is 1600 by 600 pixels. So in that range, and you can play with that to kind of see where you want this photo to land. So 1600 by 700 lands right about at the edge of your browser. 1600 by 800 goes down below your browser. 1600 by 6 lands a little bit high like this, so people can see that there's stuff down here. So I like 16 by 6. But if you forget, that's where you would be reminded of that. All right, let's see here. Next question. So why do some listings say address undisclosed, and how do we correct that? Well, that's coming from the MLS, Mike. So the MLS, whoever has that listing in the MLS has non-disclosed the address, so we cannot publicly show that. So those are just MLS rules. If it's one of your featured listings and it says address undisclosed, then that means you've checked in the MLS the box that says do not disclose address, or you haven't put the proper address in. And so that would be corrected at HAR, and then it would update through our system, and you should see it probably the next day, even though we're updating HAR every hour. All right, any other questions for everyone today? Okay, that's all the stuff that we're going to go through. You guys can certainly, you can certainly, I'll stay on, but you can jump off if we're done. I'll stay on for other questions, and then we'll have more training videos loaded for you next week, and everything should be kind of ready to go. I would say by Wednesday, Thursday of next week, we should have all these little pieces worked out, and then you should be dialed in. Okay, so Stephanie asks, we can use the landing page as lead capture. Yes. So Stephanie, when you create a new page, at the bottom of the section that says create a new page, there gives you a page 5 template layouts. The last one, number 5, has a built-in form. And so you could send people to that page for a contest. You could do all sorts of stuff, whatever you need to do on there, but that should be fine. And that's how you would use it as a lead capture. Then it'll go into the back-end database and notify you have a lead if somebody says that. Let's see here. So Jesse, we set you up yesterday. Did I spell your email wrong? If I did, I apologize. I will get in as the admin right now. But just so everyone knows, David is now an admin user as well. And so David can go in there and change and add accounts and help you with passwords and all of that other kind of stuff. Okay? Nancy, how do we add a landing page from another source? So Nancy, to do that, and look back on the screen with me here. So if I go in here, if you want to add a landing page from another source, there's maybe a link right here. You would click, add a menu item, and then see this little thing that says other. So this first one says, let's say your landing page is sign up with what's an outside service? Well, I don't know, blah, 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 right? So sign up with something else. It's going to take you outside the website, right? It's going to be just a link. Get the link from the other service, and then you click this button that says Other, and that's where you would drop in the link. So the link would be something like signmyonlineform.com/Nancy or whatever. Whatever that link is, it would look something like that. Then up here, it would just say sign up with blah, blah, blah. And when someone clicked it, it would jump off your site and go to there. So you can make that a link. It doesn't have to be one of your pages. Okay, so David, can we change our email address? The one listed as my personal address. Yeah, so David, Dave is now an admin user, and he can go in there and make any changes to your account that you need. And so feel free to email him. Jesse, I'll take care of yours because I'm in as an admin user right now, and I set yours up, so I feel bad about that. Sorry. I'll change yours. But for everybody else, if you have any questions or whatever, send them over to Dave, and I'm going to give him some admin training first of next week, but he'll be able to get in there and do some basic stuff right away. All right. Any other questions, folks? Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you all again, and yeah, I think that's it. All right, gang, have fun. Go out and explore, and if we need to do a follow-up webinar in a couple weeks after everyone's got more questions and stuff, I am happy to jump back on and do a webinar with you guys as much as necessary. We'll send you more training videos, and the system should be in great shape next week, so we'll start promoting it and go out and go make some money. All right. All right, we're going to end the webinar now. Thanks, everybody. Talk to you again soon. So Jesse, let me see what certifications are in there. The CNE certification, did you already take a look to see if it was in your profile? Because all the certifications are preloaded, and we typically have pretty much all of them. So Jesse, let me know. Jesse, go to your profile and let me know if you see the CNE certification. In fact, I'm in your profile right now, so let me do that. All right, so I just left out the T, it looks like, with your thing. All right, great. So certifications, let's see, we scroll down here. We've got Certified Residential Specialist, Certified Residential Brokerage Manager, Certified International Property Specialist. So which one are you looking for? Here, Jesse, let me unmute you. Sorry.
It's
all right, Jesse.
Certified negotiation expert. It should be abbreviated like CNE.
Yeah, did you look in here to see if it was here yet?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Okay, so I will make a note to add that. That'll probably take a few days. I would come back and check at the end of next week, and we'll have that in there for you.
Okay, awesome.
All right, I've got your email changed. So that usually takes a little while to update on the actual website, but I would just check back tomorrow and make sure, but it should be fine.